Hi, this is Veeti from thesaunaheater.com. Today we are here at HUUM's headquarters and factory in the beautiful town of Tartu in Estonia, and we are looking in some new innovative wood-fired wood stoves that has some very exciting technology inside HUUM Hive Flow sauna heater. And this heater will be available in the US in the next few months after filming this.
My name is Arnold, the export manager for North American markets at HUUM, and Veeti and I will get to test this sauna heater, and we will then share our experiences and what we think about this heater.
Yeah, so in this video we will show you the heater. We just turned it on, so you will see it in live action. We will show the heater and the sauna while we use it, and then we will also show you some unboxing clips that we did inside the factory. So this should be a very comprehensive overview of the HUUM Hive Flow series. And the Flow series is available in 4 different configurations. So we have the Hive Flow Mini, then we have the Hive Flow, which we have here. And then we have the LS versions from both. So the LS versions have the elongated firebox, which means that you can fit in longer wood inside firebox, and additionally you can embed the LS versions through the wall. So through the wall means that the Hive Wood Flow has elongated firebox. So that allows you to embed the heater into your wall, so you can load it from the other room right next to the sauna. Or additionally, if you just want to use longer wood, you can use wood up to this length with the LS version of the Hive Wood Flow. So you can load your sauna from outdoors or from the room next to your sauna, but you can get the elongated firebox as well if you just want to use longer wood and you have a standard sauna, so you don't necessarily need to embed it through the wall, but that's something you can do with the LS version.
In terms of rock capacity, we're talking about the smaller ones have 231 pounds of stones, and the bigger ones have 330 pounds of stones. So in this video, we'll give you the how to correctly heat up a wood stove. We will be using the Hive Flow in this instance. So basically, you need to think of like 3 layers of wood inside the fire chamber. The first layer should be more like smaller pieces of wood, of logs, basically like this. You put in smaller logs, which you need to cut up, and they need to be around 12 inches, aka 30 centimeters. Is the best length, and when you have through the wall versions, the LS models, they can be up to 40 centimeters, which is 16 inches. So the first layer should be these thinner stones, and please make sure not to play Tetris again and not really pack it full, because you need air moving around, oxygen, because oxygen is the element that creates fire. So on top of these smaller wood pieces, you put in these big boys. So this is how you will achieve these temperatures you need inside the sauna. And to start the fire, the best way is to use nature itself. Bark. So you light up the bark and you place the bark on top of these logs.
And when you first light up your HUUM Hive Flow or any sauna wood stove in that matter, please fill in the fire chamber only up to 2/3. So don't fully fill it in, because then there is not enough oxygen. The fire won't start efficiently. So fill in like 2/3 of the fire chamber when you are starting the fire to get the heater going.
And make sure, if you have just bought the stove, the very first time you light it up, it should be done outside where the ventilation is very good. So anywhere outside of your sauna. Toxic chemicals that can be still maybe left from manufacturing. So first burning session should be outside of the sauna, so you don't inhale the toxins.
Yeah, so you just clean up the stove basically in the first burning session, and then you can start enjoying it after.
So let's try now this in practice. Let's go inside the sauna. As you can see, the heater is currently cold. Wood stove has been used in a couple of days. So what we do, we take these 12-inch wood pieces, put them in as the first layer and right to the end. So you basically touch the back wall. Put these in, as a first layer, like this. Yeah, this one will go as well.
And then we will bring in few bigger pieces. I think we can go with 2 now. Not to go too much. Let's see. There is 1 and there is 2. Yeah, I think 2 is enough for starting the fire in this case with these specific sizes. And then we will put some bark on top there before lighting it up.
In terms of weight, we know that different woods have different density, and then the logs are different in terms of weight. So if we're talking about numbers, then during the first heat up session or the first batch of wood logs inside the stove should be around 11 pounds. So we know birch is lighter, oak is a lot heavier, it's a lot more denser, so it depends on the wood that you use. We recommend and we use in Estonia birch.
And some of you will definitely have a real torch.
Yeah.
So you can get the fire going.
We have matches. We'll try our best to light up the sauna. So let's see.
It's a bit too windy outside, I think.
Yeah, it's too windy outside, so fortunately we can go inside the sauna. Light up the match. Start burning the bark. It will actually catch fire really quickly because it's really flammable, as you can see. As other bark pieces already in there. We'll put this in the middle. We can cover it with some extra bark, so it will start the fire process like this. And then make sure your valve is open to the max. So on the plus side, make sure this valve is open on the plus side. Now we close the door and we open up the ashtray 0.1 inches, 3 millimeters. So it has a limiter on, so don't worry that you will open up it too much.
So what HUUM found is that people open the ashtray too much while heating up the wood stove. That will make the fire chamber glow red, and then that shortens the lifespan of the fire chamber, because when it gets so hot that it glows red, the material here starts to get thinner, and that's bad. So what was done to prevent this fire chamber from overheating is the limiter. So you can open the ashtray only up to 0.12 inches when the door of the fire chamber is closed. Then when you want to remove the ashes, you can just open the door and lift it and pull.
And it comes out like this. And please make sure that the ashtray stays open about 15 minutes in the beginning. Then you can already close the ashtray because it will need that much oxygen.
And now the only thing to do is wait and then add in some more wood once the first load has burned down. So now we will wait and then we will test the HUUM Hive Flow live and show you guys what kind of löyly, leil or steam you can generate with it and give you some comments in this sound.
What we have done with this heater differently when we compared to other wood stoves that we have in our selection is that there are 2 options for how to install the chimney. So we have the classical one, the current one that we have, you install the chimney from the top, but at the same time you have the option of connecting the chimney from the back. So basically there's an option, there's a possibility to hide the chimney pipe through the wall.
Let's get inside and let's take a look at the actual functions of the heater.
So when you start up your wood stove by first batch of wood logs, then please make sure that you start the fire from the top, because otherwise if you start from the bottom, the whole burning process won't be as efficient. So there will be more CO, like carbon monoxide levels going out of the chimney, and the burning process isn't as efficient.
So the reason this heater is called flow is that the air is flowing much more effectively inside the fire chamber and the wood is burning much more effectively compared to the traditional wood stoves or wood sauna stoves. So the special feature of HUUM Hive Flow is that you will have adjustable intake vents under the heater itself that you can adjust with this lever here. So basically, by adjusting this lever, you will open a hole in the bottom of the wood stove that will let more air inside the fire chamber, and that will make the burning process quicker. So your wood stove will basically heat up hotter and quicker when you have the holes inside or on the bottom of the Hive Flow open. And when you have them closed, it heats up a little bit slower and it doesn't become as hot as it would. So if you see that your wood stove is overheating, which is not too uncommon in sauna use, you can kill the oxygen and slow down the burning process by adjusting the lever and putting it to the minus. So this closes the air intake vents under the heater, and this slows down the burning process. So usually what happens is that the fire chamber might get red, and that shortens the lifespan of the wood stove. So with this one, if you see that the fire chamber starts overheating, if you have been heating up the wood stove a very long time or you have been loading it so much, you can just close the air intake and that will fix the problem.
After the first 15 minutes when you started the whole heating up process, you need to close the ashtray. We are currently at the 10-minute mark, so we will let it be open for 5 more minutes, and after that we will close the ashtray to limit the inflow of oxygen, and then in an hour we will add more logs into it, and this time we need to add less than half of the current amount we currently have. So when we first put in 11 pounds of wood, now we should put in 5 pounds of wood after an hour and 15 minutes.
So other special thing in the Hive Flow is that we have 3 different levels of burning, and the normal stove achieves only 2 of these levels. But inside the Hive Flow you will have all 3 different burning levels achieved, thus making the stove very equally warm. So in a typical sauna stove it is very warm from one part and might be a little bit colder from the other part, but with the Hive Flow it is very equally warm thanks to the efficient burning process inside the fire chamber. The air is 10 times more cleaner that goes out the pipes, but also since it burns the wood much more effectively, you don't have to use so much logs in order to heat up your saunas. You will also save some working hours while making the logs and heating up the sauna itself. Let's move on to the actual live testing of this sauna next. Let's let it heat up for a while, and then we will actually take some löyly inside this beautiful sauna.
So now that the flow has perfectly been heated up, we have about 170 degrees Fahrenheit inside the sauna. So let's go try out the sauna.
Yeah, so let's do a live testing. Even though cameras don't really like saunas, but we will throw a little bit of water and comment a little bit here, show you the atmosphere. So the flow has been on quite a while since we had some other stuff to do meanwhile. So the benches are very warm, all the stones are very equally warm, so you get this very even heat inside the sauna, since the heat distributes from the materials of the sauna as well as from all the stones. And we have had just very light fire going on in the fire chamber recently. And let's put in some water to the flow. Oh, there we go.
Yeah,
Awesome, Leil.
yeah, let's put in even a bit more, because this is the advantage of having a lot of stones inside your sauna. You can distribute the water all around the stove itself, so all the stones accumulate the heat, and then you can, if you want to, 2 or 3 cups of water and just enjoy the steam.
Yeah, and with this one you can definitely see that the stones are equally hot from the lower part and from the upper part of the heater. So that's why the...
You can try maybe even like throw from the sides.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
There we go. Let's throw a little bit to the front side so the people can see. Just be careful. There we go.
As you can see, it's so evenly distributed that you can see that the water evaporates even really close to the door itself.
Yeah, the Leil is pretty awesome.
It is.
It's a pretty good thing.
Yeah, even the door is open and it's still so good.
Yeah, so cameras don't really like the sauna environment, so we have to keep the door open, but
Yeah.
the heat is very enjoyable for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
And the smell of the juniper is also something that gives you this extra like the X factor of a sauna. Like it's just so like you're in the middle of a forest, just enjoying.
Yeah,
with steam.
Just a slight juniper smell. So
yeah,
I think that's a perfect amount to have like one wall of juniper, or maybe the ceiling. But I actually was in a spa sauna yesterday that had like all wall juniper ceilings and like juniper walls and everything. And I think then the juniper smell can become a bit too intense. Yeah. But I think this is perfect when it's like.
It's like when you put too much aroma oil in your water, then it gets too intense. So one wall is
pretty much perfect.
Yeah, it is.
But what was the name of the sauna? I think this is not available in the US, but
Round Cube by Saunasell.
Round Cube by Saunasell. But we can get you one if you want to get yourself set up with the sauna cube. We can get you one. We just need to get it from Estonia, so the lead time might be a little bit longer.
Our latest innovation in the Hive family that's coming with this wood stove is that we have heard our clients about laying the rocks maybe sometimes uncomfortable. So we heard you guys, and this is what we did. So what you need to do in order to lay the stones more comfortably inside the Hive Flow is you need to remove the bolts that connects the upper part of the cage from these areas that you will have 4 bolts. I already have removed them, so you can just pick this up. You have a wood stove in the center, but you can start laying around the wood stove here. It will be much more comfortable.
And once you have laid the stones up to the level of the middle of the cage, you just put in the additional part, screw it in, and then you can lay the rest of the stones. So this makes laying the stones inside your wood stove much easier when you are installing your new Hive Flow.
HUUM also supplies their clients the glove, so you won't burn yourself while you're trying to put in new logs to burn, because the wood stove gets really hot, so you can regulate the lever, you can open the door without burning yourself.
So the glove is included with every HUUM Hive Flow heater. So one additional accessory that we strongly recommend you to get with the Hive Flow is the additional cage. This fits in 66 pounds of stones per cage, and you can place multiple cages on top of each other. By increasing the rock capacity of your sauna heater, you will have even more stones that radiate you the most pleasant heat, and you will also get more benefits from the heating up chimney. So all the heat doesn't escape through the chimney, but it's used to heat up the stones with the cage. So you put in the cage like that, and just you need to find the place for it so it becomes kind of straight. And then you start filling in the cage with stones. And if you have 2, what you will do is that you will put the second one, you can fixate it on top of the other one through these holes. So when you have one, you put it like that, and then if you would have another, you just lay it on top of it and fixate the 2 together if you want to. And you can even have 3 or 4 or however many you want to.
So how to fixate this rock cage on top of the stove is that you need to lay stones around the, let's say, the legs of this rock cage, so it will fixate in place. So you put these in all around it and try to make it look really beautiful at the same time. Yes. So start laying these bit by bit. You try to make them look as beautiful as you can. And when you have stones already laid around the rock cage, it will fixate itself.
Don't try and play Tetris with the stones, so don't try and put them as tightly as possible. It's basic thermodynamics, but basically the heater heats the stones first, and then the stones heat the sauna environment. That's how the best heat in sauna is created. So the stones give out the best and most equal heat, and that's why these HUUM heaters are so good. But on the other hand, if you lay them very tightly, especially with electric heaters, the heat can't escape from the core of the heater. So just put them as naturally as possible on top of each other, and don't try to close all the caps in between. So just make sure that there is some caps, so there is some air flowing, especially with electric heaters, but wood-fired heaters as well. So you will get a reasonable heat up time. If you lay them as tightly as possible, if there is no air flowing inside the heater, it's very hard for the heat to escape from the core of the heater. So just leave small gaps, put them naturally, and as said, just don't try to put them as tightly together as possible. Additional accessories that you can get with Hive Flow or any Hive wood stove in that matter are something that we have talked in the past. But HUUM offers two different sizes of protective beddings. So protective bedding is basically a piece of metal that you put under the heater to protect the floor. The bottom of the heater gets very hot, so you have to protect your floor from burning marks and all of that stuff. So that's why you need to have a protective bedding under your heater. Additionally, you can get a heat reflector around your sauna heater that will reduce the safety distances you are required to keep from any combustible materials. And the heat reflector will also reflect the heat towards the sauna covers if you have the Hive Flow or any Hive wood stove placed on the corner of your sauna. So here you can see how the Hive Flow heaters arrive. So they are put on a pallet, and then you will have a box around it. Of course, when you get a Hive heater from us, you get the stones and everything. It becomes, the small pallet is put on a bigger pallet and so on and so forth. But this is how they are packaged. And this is the smaller Hive Flow. So the smaller Hive Flow, and this is the bigger one that we have just been showing to you in the video. So this is how they arrive when you purchase one. Whenever you're ready, if you want to get a HUUM Flow for yourself, Hive Flow, you can go to www.thesaunaheater.com and contact our experts, and we will get you set up with the right equipment.
What did you think about the Flow?
Yeah, it's awesome. Compared to other sauna heaters that I have seen, wood stoves with large rock capacity, it creates so much better steam from the downward section.
Yeah, it's so evenly distributed. Like, you know, it's when you throw the water on it, it's just feels different. You know, it's difficult to put in words. Like, you just gotta try it to experience it.
Yeah, that's the hard thing about selling these saunas on the internet, that people can't really try it, but that's really a top-notch product.
Yeah,
I would really say. Like how humid you can make the sauna with it, but then you don't have to on the other hand if you just want to keep it dry. But we definitely, Finns and Estonians, love the humid sauna.
We like the humidity, exactly.
So unbelievable product, and happy that HUUM is coming out of it.
During the summer, we will launch it, and hopefully by Q3 it will reach the North American markets.
Yeah, those will very likely move very fast, so hopefully we can stack enough stuff to North American markets.
Exactly.